Now he's going to define them one by one. What is this avidyā? Now, look. 4 words. Look at it. Anitya, āśuci, duḥkha, anātma. Now, what do you notice? Anitya here, nitya. Look at 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, and 4 and 8. So, anitya, nitya, aśuci, śuci, duḥkha, sukha. Is a negator. So, the first 2 are negators. Anitya, aśuci negates nitya-śuci. But du is also the opposite of su. But it's not quite a negator. Du is something bad. And su is something good. So you could put it onto anything. So a bad smell is duganda. Nice smell is suganda. And a ka is a very old Vedic word. And a ka was suspension, the axle of a cart. So you can imagine on the old roads in ancient times. So if you had good axle, it was a sukha. And if you had a crummy, a lousy axle, it was duḥkha. So you can imagine if you were on an old rickety old cart and it was really the axles were no good, your journey would be duḥkha. How was your journey? Oh, duḥkha. I had a lousy axle. Or how did somebody else? Oh, sukha. I had a good axle, and then the word then just sort of from that origin, which if you look at the etymologies of words, they're quite fascinating. So then it becomes just happiness and distress, sukha dukkha. So now we have an adjectival phrase. We have 4 words, the complete opposite of the next 4 words. So anitya is the opposite of nitya. Aśuci is the opposite of śuci. Dukkha, I just explained, is the opposite of sukha. And anātmasu is the opposite of ātma. So Sanskrit is the negator. But if a word begins in a vowel, you can't have ātman, then you put an N. So anātman. So you can put on any noun if it begins with a consonant and you negate that noun. Vidya, we just had avidyā. But if that noun that you wish to negate begins with a vowel already, especially an a vowel, then instead of an you put un. So here you have anātma, ātma. So what is this avidyā? It is the idea, the khyātiḥ, the idea, believing the self to be the non-self. What's the self? It's pure consciousness. What is the non-self? The body-mind. Believing what we take to be happiness, our little Kodak moments, our little Ben and Jerry's, our cappuccinos, our, pizzas with shiitake mushrooms, my friends, and fresh basil. We think that's happiness, but it's dukkha. Because why? Yehi samsparshaja bhoga, Krishna says. This bhoga comes from the contact of a sense with a sense object. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha-yonaya ebate. They're the wounds of suffering. Why? Adyantavanta kaunteya. Because all pleasure has a beginning and an end. Nate shuramate buddhaha. A buddha, a wise person, nate shuramate, doesn't take pleasure in them. All right, so therefore, ignorance is the idea that takes the self to be the non-self, that takes happiness to be, what's really suffering, that takes to be pure what is impure. This body's impure in a certain way, right? If you peel off the first layer of skin, you become a monster. You become grotesque. If you take out all the fluids from your body, your guts, and all your excrements and your bodily fluids, most people anyway, you have to be careful nowadays, you have to say, but most people would find that, that we consider it to be impure. And that's why we have, toilets, and we have places which are separated from other eating areas and living areas. So we take pure, and that the whole body is like that from a yogic point of view. We have to work very hard to keep it pure. We have to wash it and so forth. And we take the eternal to be the non-eternal. The body is not eternal. So what's ignorance? It's to think we're body-mind. What are we really? We're the pure, eternal, blissful soul. And what do we think we are? We think we're these not eternal, not pure, pain-bearing body and mind, the not self, the anātma. What is the not self? The body-mind is the not self. And then why is it dukkha? Because we get sick, we get injured, and we get old, and then we die. And it's impure in the sense that the body, it's kind of gross if the minute you stop paying attention to it and stop controlling it, the obnoxiousness pours out of the body. So if you think about it very carefully, and anitya. Okay, so that's ignorance, to take the body and the mind to be the self.